Through my childhood, my teenage, my adulthood, I always seek for this one place in my heart where it felt so untouched, unmoved, and empty. Even the man I married didn't manage to go to that room breathing. Until Alexis came and completed me. It felt like I was finally whole after almost 30 years of my life. I can remember his every first. My memory is not that sharp. Of course I documented it, but what I mean is that I can still remember how it feels. I talk about him a lot. When he first walked, talked, ran, went to school, got an award, went to school alone, had a crush, had a girlfriend, and got passionate to something. As a mother, as a first woman who loved him, I'm not someone to hinder him. He is my child, but it doesn't mean I know his happiness, so I let him find his own definition of joy. That's when he first left home and started far away from us. You were all aware how busy Alexis was because of this pandemic. I'm so worried, scared, and paranoid, but he keeps insisting that people needs him. I always tell that to myself to convince me. I let him to be a person he wants to be. I'm proud of how he risked his life to save other people. People needs him. He stayed away from us, protect the family, and is willing to step closer to a dangerous place. All because people needs him. I am proud, but I am not happy. Because that peace that completes my heart is there, risking to be hurt. Actually, I'm always looking forward for special days. The people whom he loves will gather for him, though I'm not into that. Because that's when I got to see and be with him for a long time. But I never thought of it like this. He's not like this. I am always with his first, and he's always with my last. What I want is to be with him on my last breath and not my last memory of him. I don't want to feel the last time I feel complete. Now that he's gone, my heart feels the same space again. He risked his life for people's welfare. He is a hero indeed. People needs a hero. People needs him. But I need him too. I need my last piece. I need Alexis, my child.
Hello everyone. On behalf of my family, I'd like to thank everyone that is here today and for those who have sent their condolences. We have received phone calls, texts, emails, visits, flowers, meals, thoughts, and prayers. All of them have been comforting during this difficult time. It has been a reminder of the impact that Alexi had on so many others. We are grateful to have you here to support us, as well as to honor his life, and I'm sure he'll be glad to know too. As Alexi's aunt and to his other two siblings aside, I never expected that I would be really close to him. Well, mostly on his younger days. He was calmer, more obedient, and matured than his brother and his younger sister whenever I get to babysit or watch over them while their parents are gone. But he also has this side of him where he allows himself to have fun with them, to be their partner in crime while still being responsible. When he's not around them, sometimes he'd come to me and tell his dreams about being a doctor, or someone who aspires to protect and help people. Because of his role as the peacemaker in the family and his eternal love for them, His ambitions are built on that foundation. I knew from that point on that he will have a fulfilling life and a whole journey ahead of him for a child who is as bright and as wonderful as Alexi. Just as I thought, he became exceptional. From minor achievements, like being the captain of his volleyball team, to major ones, such as being an honor student, and finally, as a cum laude in college. Never once did he lose sight of where he came from, and who supported him all this way. But he was more than those achievements. It was only a part of what he was and who he aimed to be. He's a caring and compassionate person, a good listener whose silence is enough to comfort you, a hard worker who you could count on or depend on. He was a good friend to many people, and I can see that from how he was adored by his peers and co-workers. He grew up as a reliable person who worked earnestly to pursue his goals, and his diligence could definitely influence you, because he was always doing his best. But he also knew how to be kind to others, especially when they are in need. We weren't his only loved ones. He was loyal to his family, a great companion to his friends, and he was fond of taking care of animals. He devoted himself to volunteer work and in helping people until his dying days. He was really passionate about it, and I could see how he worked so hard to accomplish it. We wondered what he would do next, and how much more he could have done if he only had more time. It was too soon. Today, we may have lost a very important person in our lives, but we will never forget what Alexi has done. He spent his life living up to the fullest and in becoming a successful person. He was first a kind-hearted brother, a loving son, and a generous friend to us all. His story has become a reminder of what he left in this world for us to tell. And wherever he is right now, I hope he is resting in peace. We will never forget you, Alexi. We love you.
Standing before you today to farewell our son Alexi is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Words cannot describe the sorrow and loss that I'm feeling. But here we go. Alexi was a wonderful, sweet boy. Even as a baby, he had a calm temperament, and as he grew into a little boy, always took things in his stride. He is always calm and composed. I remember when a dog was barking at him while we were walking at the park. I thought he will run to me and cry, but then he just walked beside me and he looks more braver than me. There was also a time that I thought he likes the same gender as him because of his movements and behavior. Although I will love him whatever he likes, but I was super happy when he asked me for help because he had someone he likes and he wants to ask her out. That was his first love. Being the middle child, Alexi was more obedient and mature than his siblings. Whenever the two is always fighting, there was Alexi trying to stop them and start to scold them. When Eazy needs help in her homework, Alexi won't hesitate to help her. He is also her partner in crime. Jeriniel, his brother, they both love road trips, and they are very close that they can tell their secrets to each other, but not to their parents. He is caring and responsible sibling for them. As Alexi grew from a boy to teenager, I could see the man that he would become. Strong, steadfast, and assured. He was an honor student. He graduated college as cum laude. He was also once the captain of their volleyball team. We were so proud. He was always competitive but humble. He managed his studies and his volleyball career very well. but the clever boy. Recently, all he talked about was the overseas trip he planned for the family. He was planning a trip to Bali, Indonesia after his last shift in the hospital. But then, this pandemic happened. Alexei worked hard and pursued his dreams to be a doctor. Now, he is adored by his friends and co-workers. And it is a testament to him how many of you are here today to farewell our boy. Not only was he a loving son and a brother, he was a kind and giving friend, someone who has always a pleasure to be around. To have lost Alexei is heartbreaking. It is very unexpected, and it was too soon. My family wishes to express heartfelt thanks to all those who have given their support, love, and compassion through this very difficult time. Before he left us, he left a reminder that he wouldn't like if we grieve for too long. Instead, just remember the good times you have with him. Goodbye, Alexei, my son. You will live in our hearts forever.
Good morning. I'm Jim, the older brother of Alexei and the eldest child in the family. It's been 5 years since I've been united with my family, and I was hoping for a joyful return. But here we are. Here I am, standing still, saying our last goodbye to my dearest Alexei. I still remember back when he was a child, he used to be the eager, a curious cat, and a wanderer. He was the wonder child of my family, and he was the knight in shining armor of our Princess Eazy. He used to salute me when I was going away to work, vowing that he'd protect all Eazy at all costs. And time passes by. I was sent overseas, and I still remember the face that he made, the crying face that he made when I was bidding his goodbye. And time passes by, grows old. He updates me whatever happens to Eazy. He'll text me, "Kuya, we're here. Kuya, Eazy's not here." And the time went by again and again. My mom told me, Alexei became a doctor. And when I called him, he told me, Kuya, I'm a doctor." Yes, you are a doctor. And yet, you died fighting in the front line. Alexei, I know you're here with us. I just want to say thank you for being a great buddy, for being a great knight to Eazy, for being a great son to mommy and daddy. And always remember that Kuya will always love you.
Hi everyone. Can't believe that day I'm standing here, finally saying goodbye to my Kuya Alex. My name is Eazy, his younger sister, and my family and I are so grateful that in this difficult time, all of you were able to come support us. And I know you would have been pleased to know that all of you are here today to honor his life. Growing up with Kuya Alex as an older brother wasn't always easy for us. But as we grew older, I realized that I always had a partner in crime, someone to always have my back and support me. So when he died, I feel like I've lost a bit of myself. I shared my roots, knew my memories of childhood and has a unique understanding of how I became who am I today. He knew me at a level that few other people, if any, do. In all these ways and more, he made our lives richer and fuller. Now that he's passed away, of course, there's emptiness and pain, uncertainty, and maybe even rage at death coming to a 25-year-old man. The gift of Kuya Alex's life is still here with us in many ways. He lives in our memories and legends because of him and what all of us have become. Kuya Alex took to heart all the responsibilities in his life, trying to respect, help, and direct, and most importantly, protect his family. When he was surrounded by his family, he was at his best. Even during those unavoidable rough times that life has a way of throwing at you. The cornerstone of his actions, the anchor that characterized and influenced his life, was his loyalty to his family. He was a good friend to so many. He could be counted on and depended on always. Whether you needed simple advice, an empathetic ear, a shoulder to lean on, companionable silence, a listener if you will. If you all wanted was fast time, he was your man. Ready, reliable, willing, and good one. He spoke out when it really counted. His strong principles did not allow him to let something wrong stand unchallenged. Kuya Alexi cared enough to act, follow through, never let anyone or anything stand in the way of making things right. You can only imagine how much more he could have accomplished in his life for his death. As an adult, he was highly accomplished and extremely driven in his line of work. Kuya Alexi was fond of his family, spending time with animals and reading everything he could get his hands on. He was particularly passionate about volunteer work, and he devoted himself to helping others, even in the last years of his life. Kuya Alexi left us way too early. He left us with an incredible model of how to live our lives. I have no doubts that he still has me back. Whatever his spirit is, I know he's pulling for our whole family and his many friends. As he would say, it's just what I do. We love you, Kuya Alexi, and we always will.
Losing my best friend Alex is the one of hardest I ever faced. It's like losing my other half of me, that I can describe the sorrow and loss that I am feeling. But I still had to face these challenges for my friend. I also know that he wants us to move on so he can be burden for us. I know it's hard losing someone you really love, leave suddenly, losing someone that you talk and see every day, spending some time doing things that you will never tell to anyone, telling secrets that you both will keep, and memories that will always cherish. Being only child, Alexi is like a brother to me. He always by my side trying to guide me to the right path. Every day we always study before we do something that we both like, so I am not abandoning my grades. He always want me to do my best to unlock my skill that I never knew. He was the best brother that I never had. I know one day that he will leave, but I don't expect that day come so quickly. But things happen in life. It's hard to believe that he really died, but there's time. Life is easy, fun, sad, depressing, but we will always remember not to give up even life is hard.
Good evening to all of you. Introduce myself. I'm Stella, Alex's colleague and his friend since college. So I first met Alexi way back in college, first year, and we became close by second year. I can still remember how hardworking and responsible he is. I even thought that he was perfect, but Not until we became friends, because just like us, he just works 10 times harder. Everyone praised him and he deserves it. He deserves every praise and achievement he had received up until now, but I hope you don't just look at the medals and trophies that he has. For there is more behind those achievements. Everything that he has were from his hard work. All his sacrifices and tears that he exerts just to cope up with the projects and his personal life. He's been through a lot, but he was able to bear with it. His influence was once again proven by the time that he entered the hospital. His colleagues and patients knew how kind he is. He's the epitome of a doctor. There was this time that all of us were so down during this pandemic. That feeling of fear that lingering deep within us, and we felt it time to time. We were frustrated, cried, but among us, a few kept standing and did their job diligently. And Alexei was one of them. He kept telling us that as there is still life to save, we keep going. Keep going for them. At that moment, I have a thought in my mind, and I believe all of you can agree to it. That Alexei give us light, and deep within us, we wish the best for Alexei. That among the people that this crisis may take or will take, we wish it wasn't Alexei. That's how much important Alexei is to us. Until this happened. This happened. It was unexpected, and at first I did believe it because it's as though still among us, living and still doing his job. I feel like every time he returned, and I just told myself that he just overstepped. I can still feel his presence, so I did believe it until I saw it myself. I asked why among all the people, why it has to be the good ones. To his family, I thank you for raising a good son. He was such a good friend to all of us. And despite all of this that happened, we will keep him in mind and keep going instead. Save lives as we must. It's a light, as we mentioned, and he will remain as one in our hearts. Someone who gives hope every time we remember his words. Everyone in our lives has a story to tell. Every person that may stay for long or just stay for a glimpse has left a lesson, hope, and inspiration. And so Alexis. It's hard to say goodbye, but farewell, our good doctor. Every lives that you've saved truly appreciates your effort up until this day, and so in the future.